What's your next book?
My next book is The Power of Awakening by the beautiful Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Yes.
I mean,
I've never read that book.
You haven't read this one? Okay.
No.
Well, I've read most of his books. And look, I can't say that this is absolutely my favorite. It's one of my favorites for sure. It's not that it's not my favorite. I don't want to say that at all. It's that most of Wayne Dyer's books, I love listening to it in audio form. I find his voice is just
Me too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So most of his books I have in audio form. So I have about 5 of his books in paper copy. A few of them are out on loan with clients. But I love this one. This is probably the first one that I physically bought. And Wayne Dyer's teachings just have this beautiful, they're just so practical. Don't you feel that? Like, I just find I could listen to his stuff all day. He's just makes you take accountability, but in the most beautiful, kind way that doesn't make you feel like you're getting kicked up the bum, even though you kind of are. He really makes you, do you agree? He makes you take accountability for yourself, but he doesn't make you feel like he's making you take accountability for yourself. So
make you feel like there's anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And he clearly lays things out, doesn't he? Like, there's no confusion about what he's talking about.
Yeah. And I feel like that's why I have so many of his books, because they all have, like, you were going to learn the basics of getting in touch with yourself and kind of taking control of your ego, taking control of what you put out there so that you manifest what you want back, and taking control of the fact that, you know, I mean, Wayne Dyer is very big on everything that we have is manifested from ourselves. So when we're in a really bad situation, it's come from our thinking. It's come from our mindset. A lot of the times these things are to teach us something incredible and so that our soul can grow. But when we continue to stay in the, I'm going to say mud, for lack of a nicer term, but when we continue to stay stuck in the mud in our lives, then that's our choice in a way. But he doesn't make you feel like, you know, you need to be scolded for this. It's, he puts it in ways, and very, very practical ways. So I do want to read, so The Power of Awakening is really, it's like a next step up from some of his books in a way, because it's really about, once you've got a little bit of a foundation of, you know, I guess controlling your thoughts, this is sort of what to expect as you start to wake up, and taking a bit more responsibility for your thoughts as you start to wake up to all the possibilities. But I'm going to read this little one. So this is from the chapter, Discover the 3 Keys to Higher Awareness, and it's on page 72. The inner dialogue is nothing more than your inventory of beliefs, which have been handed to you from well-meaning people all your life and are loaded with doubt. It is a constant reiteration of all these things that have been handed to you that keep you from reaching a sense of purpose or from knowing your higher self. It is the ego at work. And he goes into more about the ego, but I just find that whenever he explains anything like that, I go, and as much as it makes you take accountability, it kind of does make you realize that it's not just you. Like, everybody's going through it. It's not, so I could talk all day. Wayne Dyer, love.
I love that. And I agree with you about the audio. I have Empower You Radio, which I always talk about. It's the best investment ever. And there's so many immersive trainings that he's got on there, hours and hours and hours of his stuff. And like you were saying, Candice, there's something about him. Even, I don't know if this happens to you, but if I read something he's written, I can hear him narrating it in my mind.
Yes, I can.
It's so
I've
cool.
listened to enough things. It's like, yes, I sit down with my book and Wayne's just in my background, like, yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm really glad you brought him. He's one of the most profound spiritual teachers in my life for sure. It's just very difficult to choose 5. And like you said, we're going with hard copies that we have. So